Good evening, everyone. Tonight I want to introduce Christian Whittam. Christian's a fifth grader at Hooksett Memorial. His mom, Shannon, his brothers, Caleb, who's a fourth grader at our school, and brother Connor, who he's 6 years old, right, is here. Also with them is their dad, Jay, who some of you might recognize. Fun things he does with his family and friends are going out for dinner, movies. He enjoys the ripstick, which is some kind of skateboard thing, and going to the aquarium in Boston. He plays indoor soccer, just started this year. Favorite subjects in school, history, language arts. I think he kind of likes to talk his way through things. Math is not his favorite. He finds it a little bit challenging, but I see him as being up to that challenge all the time. Favorite teachers at school and other people that support him, Mr. Rivet and Mrs. Gagnon, they both make him laugh and they push him to learn. He's excited about coming up here to Collie, Mr. Benson, so you'll be seeing his face in just a few short months, making new friends, meeting his teachers, and as he said, wood shop, which up here is called industrial tech. All right, so that's a little bit of a difference, but you'll get a chance to do some cool things there. In the future, he'd like to be in the Marines and kind of follow his dad's footsteps. Mr. Rivet, his classroom teacher, states Christian has a big heart and cares a lot about others. He demonstrates growth academically and socially, always making those appropriate choices most of the time. And he's getting ready to move on to Collie, getting himself right there. Proud to have him here tonight. And if you could all please stand as Christian leads us in the pledge. The flag's right there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'm coming.
Trapped for a second.
This is Christian.
Christian, yes, we met earlier. Very nice job. And keep up the good work in history. So keep up the good work and good luck, and come back and see us. And a little tribute from the board. Thank you for coming. Posting? All right. Looking for approval of the minutes from our March 20th meeting. So moved. Second. Discussion? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes of March 20th, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Did we have minutes from the special meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. They're not ready? Okay.
Just got
Okay. Opportunity for the public to address the board. Okay.
I haven't gotten there yet. Good evening. My name is Mark Mydell, 42 Main Street. Mark with a C. M-I-V-I-L-L-E. I have a bit of a dilemma that I'm hoping the school board can help me resolve. I haven't been able to attend the last several meetings because I've been out of town most of the time for work. But the last time I attended here, I gave a public input statement to the board, and subsequent to that public statement, on the next meeting after that, there was some discussion in my absence as to whether my public input was going to be accepted through the minutes, because I had asked over email through Adam Sullivan that there were some things on the minutes that I was inaccurately portrayed in the minutes, and that I had asked to have them corrected. And the will of although Mr. Sullivan did an excellent job of representing my interests on that, the school board decided not to at that time to change my perspective on those minutes. And I believe it was left that they would look into it and see what they wanted to do about it. So I'm addressing them now, and for the most part, I don't want to get into the whole thing as to what I said before, but I have did some verbatim minutes from the video that was taken that night. If you recall, about a month and a half ago, there was 2 words that were portrayed of my comments that I took great exception to, because I felt they were editorial commentary as opposed to actual dictating of the minutes. And so I would like to ask again personally, because that's what you guys wanted me to do, to come back here to personally address it again, was on the night of February 7th, I made some comments about how the school board portrays itself to answering questions of citizens, and I felt that some of them, the answers were semantically generated. Just as I am now, spoke the same way as I am now, and yet the minutes portrayed my comments as expressed frustration. And in no way did I express frustration in the same way that I'm talking now, and I would like those 2 words removed from the minutes of February 7th, because I did not express frustration. I didn't use the words express frustration. And therefore, my view is the portrayal of those minutes is editorial comment and should be written as the way I stated it, not as the way it's interpreted. So a lot of the minutes, a lot of my comment that were portrayed in the minutes were, in my view, inaccurate. Briefly, it said my frustration about brief minutes provided to questions from the public. I said nothing about brief answers. My comment was that the answers were inadequate and semantically composed. It had nothing to do with brevity. I also made some comments about the collaboration of the school board, which were not mentioned at all in those minutes. So I would ask officially then to have my name, first of all, to be changed from M-A-R-C to M-A-R-K to M-A-R-C, M-I-V-I-L-L-E for the official record, and also to remove expressed frustration and just mention disgust. In addition to that, if you would accept the verbatim minutes of the verbatim comments of my public input, you can decide what you want to do with that. I'm okay with that. I would really like to have expressed frustration removed from those minutes. Thank you very much for your time. May I present that to the chairman? Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. We have reports of administrators. We have the assistant superintendent report. Any questions, comments? Okay. We have the Underhill principals report. Questions, comments? I'll just state that I'd like to be at Underhill when Mr. Bairstow performs his wacky stunt.
I'm sure you'll be able to see it in a number of places, actually.
I wish you luck.
I might need it. The kids voted today. I haven't heard the results yet.
Oh, you haven't heard the results? Well, I look forward to the results.
We'll definitely surpass 100,000 minutes.
Good. Well, that's the good thing. Okay, the memorial principals report. Questions, comments?
How many end up coming to the bullying conference? Is it a good turnout?
For the parents, the turnout was rather low. You know, and that's something that we've kind of talked about as principals, along with the assistant principals, about how we can change that for next year. You know, offering it a different night, what have you. But yeah, I want to say 15 people total. I'd say about 15 parents total. Would really like to see a lot more.
It was I wish I could have attended. I just couldn't.
Yeah. We're looking at trying to tie it in with another event in the schools so that people are already present. So it wouldn't be an additional night.
It sounds like it was informative for who did show.
Yes, I can tell you the staff did a fantastic job presenting, the assistant principals, and then Mr. Largy and Ms. Giolosis also assisted. They did a great job. They had a skit that they performed, actually a couple of skits, to kind of demonstrate what what they saw as bullying and what wasn't bullying, so.
Anything else? The Colley principal's report? Questions, comments? Okay. Director of Student Services report.
Can I go back? I was about on the assistant superintendent. How did Matt, your interview go with the Ed Tech magazine?
It went well. It was actually this past, let's see, I did that on Monday. No, Friday, I'm sorry. I had that on Friday, and basically they're doing a series on Bring Your Own Device. And it's Tech Ed Magazine covers K-12 as well as higher ed. And they have a monthly journal that's in print and then also a website. And it went very well. They asked a lot of questions about the school district, about the pilot, some things that we had discussed at the mid-year review, and it was a very pleasant conversation. And what they'll do next is send out, what is going to go into print for me to take a look at, and then it'll be in their publication, I believe, in June is what they explained. So.
It'd be nice to get a copy.
Yeah, I'd be glad to do that.
Okay, Director of Student Services, report. Comments, questions? No? Yep.
The alternative learning progression, is it getting easier for students to get NHLs or harder?
To qualify for
Yes.
it? The criteria is the same, criteria hasn't changed.
But have the number of years, it used to be 1 grade level, and then it went to 2 grade levels, that they had to be reading 2 grade levels behind. Is it still 2 grade levels behind for alternative assessment?
It's based on many criteria. It's based on significant delays in academic achievement, as well as the mode of communication, behavioral components of many different things that teams look at.
And on your parent involvement survey, it was in the PTA press for people to fill it out, and seeing the deadline is May 4th, it will be in again, giving people a reminder on our end to please fill out the parent involvement, and that's a criteria the district is judged on. Please fill out the survey. It takes 4.5 minutes. I put on the timer to make sure I was accurate.
That would be great.
Okay, reports of standing committees. I'm hoping we're going to get through at least a good portion of the appointments tonight, but any reports for yourself?
I met with the Good to Great update the instruction, and they're well on their way. I'm learning how to do what's it called, a wiki? Yes. To contribute to that, each person involved was given one of the elements for the 21st century learning, and we're meeting again like this here on the 17th.
The high school study committee is prepared to make a presentation in our April 17th meeting, which was part of their charge. They met today. They'll be meeting briefly right before our April 17th meeting to come and give us a status of where they are. Can everyone hear me? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I missed the
All right.
beginning.
The high school study committee is met today, and they're prepared to do their preliminary report on the 17th for their charge, and they will be meeting right before to work out the bugs, and they will be here on the 17th. To just say that it's not a formal presentation, they're just going to